Ilia Topuria riding that wave. I mean, this guy is the real deal. I had the pleasure of moving around with him while he was here down in South Florida. This kid's got real skills, and I mean real skills. He can box, he can grapple, he can kickbox, he can wrestle. I mean, he's not lying when he says he's an evolution of the game. I remember at one point, you know, I truly felt that I was the evolution of the game, and I showed that. I was able to get in there, I was able to get that title, and I was able to defend it numerous times. And this kid, all signs point to go for him.
If you want to come here and take this belt, just make sure that you are good everywhere, that your striking is on point, your wrestling is on point, your ground game is on point, your mental strength is on point. You have to be on point, you have to be the man. So I represented the evolution of the mixed martial arts because I'm on point.
He comes in with, you know, this cockiness, right? He comes in with the tattoos. He looks like a bad guy. He looks like a villain in a movie. And I think people underestimate his intelligence and how he is really playing chess from before the fight starts to after the fight, right? This kid, the things that he says, he knows exactly what buttons to push. He knows exactly what to say. This is as prepared of a fighter that I have seen in a very, very long time.
I think Ilia Topuria, he looks the part. What I mean by that, he has a nice suit. He comes out to emergence. I might have said that wrong. That's the theme song for Desperado. He's got a huge following. He's very competent. He seems like a very good dude. Yeah, I think he could be a huge thing for the country of Europe. Exciting. And the biggest thing too is that you could be handsome, you could talk good, you could do all these things, but the number one thing you have to be able to do is be able to fight. And that's one thing that man can do.
I just put myself in those shoes, and I could never do that, right? Because I've never been that confident. My God, I wish I had the confidence that somebody like Topuria or somebody like Conor has, but that's just never been me. But man, I've got some friends that are big fans of the UFC and gamble a lot, and a lot of my friends in the know, they were on the Topuria hype train. They believed that he was going to get it done, and I kept arguing, you know, it's recency bias. But my God, dude, he's good, and we knew he was good, but he's got the swagger, he's got the confidence that he showed. I mean, he really is setting himself up to be that next big thing.
Ilia is very, very good. He's very good everywhere, and he's very dangerous when he gets on the inside. His boxing and his combinations inside and in the pocket are second to none. Absolutely second to none. Now, I will say this, the exact same combination that Ilia Topuria knocked Alexander Volkanovski out with, he showed me this exact same combo a week before at the PI.
This whole narrative was that because Ilia Topuria was calling for an early knockout in the fight, that maybe he wasn't giving Volkanovski the respect. And yet, reciprocally, it was maybe in some part, whatever percentage, Volk wasn't acknowledging the speed and power threat in front of him. The kid who has been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu since 4 years old, the kid who has been Greco-Roman wrestling since 7, which would give him 20 years effectively of wrestling in his life, even though he's 27. This calculated killer that walks into a room looking like James Bond, incredible new champion. And there are just so many different angles to this.
And I'm not sold on the idea that Ilia Topuria truly believed that all these guys are old, they're all done, and he's the new thing. I watched him start to convince himself and talk himself into it. But one thing that will change a guy's confidence, that will get him over the hump, and that will put him in the position that he's telling the world he's already in, is if you give him a world championship. So if you think you've seen impressive things from Ilia Topuria, I promise you, you haven't seen nothing yet.
The crazy thing is, speaking about his potential, we only saw one part of his game. I mean,
Yeah.
the UFC did that fantastic little package all about his build-up. You know, did you see it where they had him dressed as like a bullfighter and stuff? That was fantastic. Wrestling at 4 years old, high-level jiu-jitsu. I mean, the man can do it all at the highest level. As you said, the mindset, the confidence, and then to knock out Volk like that, to floor him. I had a feeling that it was going to be a hard fight for Volk, but I didn't expect that. I didn't see Volkanovski crumpled on the floor. And he even said, I'm going to stumble and then crumble him. The man's a soundbite machine.
What's fascinating to me about Ilia is how far he's gotten with only using a limited tool set. And he can wrestle. He has really good BJJ. He's shown that in the beginning of his career, but in the UFC, he's predominantly only shown his boxing, calf kicks here and there and whatnot. But for the most part, he just punches people's lights out. So is this going to be the shift of MMA where people are going to just get into a more hardcore focus on, well, I'm going to try to get you first and just swing punches and bunches, and hopefully I touch you first and you go down?
So you don't know whether the punch is coming with the jab. You don't know if he's coming with a left hook. Is he coming with an overhand right, or is he coming with a straight right? Is he going to throw a kick off of that? There's no wasted movement, but he also gives little tiny feints to make you think he's going to go. And they're not over exaggerated. And then on top of that, what I love is that he keeps his hands so dedicated to his face. If you're the person he's fighting, you start looking for spots to get in there. And you realize that, look, if I focus too much on that spot, I'm going to get countered with something. Because he is so controlled. He stays so disciplined with his defense.
Not only that, to further highlight his MMA IQ, he has a ton of weapons. This isn't just a guy who, he's got power. No, man, he can kick, he can punch, he can elbow, he can take you down, he can submit you. We've seen his resume and what he's done to guys. So he has all these weapons that can be deployed in a variety of ways. And then we have to talk about his rhythm. And I think this is something that a lot of high-level fighters don't understand. He goes out there and he kind of has this slow rhythm. And what he's doing is he's giving you a pattern. He's showing you, this is how I'm moving. I swear, I'm just moving nice and slow. Nice and slow. And then he changes the rhythm. He explodes out of nowhere, and he will try to catch you. And he lures you in. It's almost like this, hypnotizing mechanism that he likes to use. And man, is it beautiful to watch.
Ilia, obviously, I've known him for a while. I've been talking about Ilia for a while, that he'd be a champion one day. Now the day has come. I've been saying it for a while. This guy's talented and good. I didn't even think that he was going to do Volkanovski like that, and I'm a fan of Ilia, bro. I love this man. Just hats off to him. What a performance, man.
But I did train with Ilia, and I felt his power. He's very, very strong, very good. He always come in pressure like boxing, and he has like a low stand, and he's pressuring you. And then you're going against the wall always. Like, it's very hard to fight sparring or training. They're always on your face, and he's waiting. If you throw anything, he's right there. And he's combos and like, he got me 2 times with the body shot. And he did drop me from the body shot.
Look, man, he's a good dude. He's just playing. I don't know if he's playing the game or what it is, but yeah, look, he's a confident young fella. And hey, so he's got every right now, right? Like, I can't say much other than congratulations. It worked out. Like, that's a tough game you got to play when you want to go down that route, and it worked out for him. So it's just going to make a massive rematch in Spain by the looks of it.
Topuria's confidence all week really was like mind-blowing, and he was so filled with belief, or the belief that he was going to be a champ, that when I left, I said, wow, he's got a ton of charisma, he's got a ton of belief. And I'm talking to his coaches, the brothers, and they said, man, we got him when he was just a little boy. We've been seeing this. We've seen his development time and time again. And this feels like destiny. for him to not only become champion, but to become champion over someone that's been as dominant as Volk.